tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddham dhammang sanghang namasami. Welcome to this Sunday morning meditation at Dhammadharini. Today is the day that we celebrate Sanghāmita's arrival in Sri Lanka, where she, together with 11 other enlightened bhikkhunis, ordained 1,000 women in Sri Lanka and established the fourfold Sangha in that country. It seemed appropriate for this morning's meditation period to focus on Sanghānupassana, the mindful contemplation of the Sangha. In meditation, the awareness of feeling is one of the most valuable, useful, beneficial aspects of our experience, because feeling is very changeable and is a tremendous kind of a reflection or a barometer of what's going on with us, what's going on in the mind. I would like you to think about Sangha in terms of community, the community of people who have the same aspiration to realize peace and happiness in this training, in this tradition which has been passed down to us from the Buddha. Thinking about the community, the other people who have the aspiration for insight and for liberation because of insight. As a preliminary reflection to the this contemplation of the Sangha, I invite you to recollect a time when there was a conversation where you might have had some negativity or some distress or some hindrance present in your mind and heart, and in talking to another and experience the good qualities and the kindness of that other person. Could be a teacher or Kalyanamita, a Dhamma, a friend in this Dhamma. You might have experienced the easing, opening up and relief from something that was negative within you. Even something as simple as experiencing the sense of kindness and being a target of loving kindness from another person might have helped to you to be able to relax, to open up. Or it could be that in listening to another actual human being, a living human being, there was a opening up of understanding, that something that was just a concept becomes so crystal clear within. In that moment, when the Dhamma arose because of a conversation, could stand out in your memory as a kind of a bright moment or a highlight of your evolution in this Dhamma. Or it could be that in speaking to another, when you were trying to explain what you know, what you understand about the Dhamma, that in that conversation, even your own effort to speak and communicate caused your own understanding to become crystal clear and clarified. At a time when there was a bhikkhu who was ill, the Buddha came and personally by hand, with his own hand, bathed that bhikkhuni who was ill, cleaned up his bed, and set him in a clean and proper space to rest, and gave him medicine. And then he spoke to the Sangha of bhikkhus and said, Venerables, you don't have anybody else to care for you except the Sangha. So it's on you, it's your responsibility to take care of one another in times of illness. So much the more so, to some extent, we've realized something about the path to liberation. And to that extent, we've got one foot set in the path to good health, the path of recovering from dukkha. And then, perhaps to some extent, we still are caught up in delusion, caught up in affliction, caught up in greed, caught up in fear, caught up in anger or upset or distress. And to that extent, we are still in a state of disease, a state of having that the universal generic mental illness, which is the human state of being caught up in ignorance. So this Sangha is the only doctor that we have, the only physician who's able to help us to emerge from delusion. Again, I invite you to take a minute and think about the time that there's been some type of bright moment of feeling the inspiration or the opening of the Dhamma eye in connection with your Kalyanamitta, your dear friend in the Sangha, the one who helps you. Noticing the feeling when that recollection comes up. And in the presence of Sangha, in the presence of gratitude, then coming for meditation, coming to an upright and balanced posture. Aware of the sensations in the body. Relaxing the body. And if any part of the body is tight, nervous, painful, or difficult in any way, being friends with that, taking a few more minutes to relax around that. Extending the kindness to one's own body and the sensations arising there. Letting this friendliness, this loving care pervade the entire body, greeting every sensation that arises in the body with this friendliness. And when this body is pervaded with kindness and friendliness, relaxing around each sensation that arises. Aware of the feeling that comes along with that. And aware of the mind itself, the other end of the awareness. The mind is aware of the sensations. The sensations connect to the mind. Awareness inclines to touch each sensation as it comes along. Aware of the activity of the mind. And if the breath is noticeable, can let the breath come to the front. just aware of rise and fall of breath. If the mind is favoring more stillness, stay with the breath. If the mind needs more activity to stay alert, then continue watching many sensations wherever they arise in the body. And coming close to the end of this meditation, again bringing out the thought of kindness, kind appreciation for every sensation that arises, for this very body, for the other bodies, for the other persons, for our Kalyana Mitas, our dear Dhamma friends, for the wider Sangha, and for all of the previous generations that have brought us up to where we are now. And in the spirit of Sangha, considering those who are in the room now, some that we've seen week after week as our good Dhamma friends, some that we haven't seen in a while, and considering those friends, those dear supporters who could be far away, all part of our Sangha of practice, considering all those who came before us, who kept the Dhamma alive, who passed the Dhamma along from generation to generation. Also, these are our good, dear Dhamma friends. These are part of our Sangha. Going all the way back down to the Lord Buddha himself, who discovered this way to peace and happiness, this way to insight and wisdom and liberation, and the kindness of the Buddha in giving, sharing the Dhamma in a way that others could awaken. That magic, that miracle of the transmission of the Dhamma, where a person could listen to the words of this teaching and wake up. Wow, how good is that? I'd like to invite anybody here who'd like to put their hand up to mention some words of gratitude and appreciation for Sangha, or it could be some words of blessing and kindness for Sangha, for community. Okay, I'll call on Diana.
Thank you, Ayya. When we went into the meditation and you were guiding us, suddenly and you were talking about kindness, it's like suddenly all the people that had shown me kindness started coming up to my mind. And my heart just was bursting with gratitude in all of that, right up to, right now, a friend is helping me by letting me stay with her while I empty out a storage that I've had for way too long. And just, it's just, there's almost no words for the joy that brings up, that the kindness that people show, and that I choose to and feel that I emulate, want to emulate, and that I choose to show people, because I don't like to be mean to people. So
Thank you,
thank you.
Diana. When you share your experience, it makes me feel so happy. So now you've given me a great gift. So, thank you for giving me this happiness of rejoicing in the happiness that you feel about the things that you received. And so it just goes around and around, doesn't it? In a positive way. Who else has a thought to share? I'm going to call on Mida Kanti.
Yeah, sometimes I just kind of like visualize every monastic that I've met ever since I started visiting monasteries, maybe like somewhere between like 8 or 10 years ago or something. Um, yeah, and that always makes me very happy. So,
Loja, do you have a comment you'd like to add? If you want to, you'll have to come up. Come over here. This is our newest visitor.
I think of my present teachers, my teachers in the past, and the Sangha here, and have all the monastics I've met, and everyone who contributed, who served to teach me what I know, to get me here now. I feel I thought about them all together, and I feel grateful.
I'll call on Nita and Sakat.
It was a very beautiful meditation for me, Aya. Thank you for that. I was feeling so much gratitude for all the teachers. I started thinking from where I started my journey, where I got to Buddhism, the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha, and the teachers who have helped me in the journey. There are so many people to be grateful for, so many teachers to be grateful for. And there was a point where the gratitude was unbounded, immeasurable. And I felt like there are this loving kindness meditation where we practice this immeasurable love towards the universe, for the entire universe. And today was the gratitude feeling of immeasurable abundance. It was beautiful. Thank you.
Good, thank you. One other theme that does come across for us about the Sangha that may develop a little more this afternoon is an idea about diversity and unity. So different monastics, different teachers, different humans, each has their own particular gifts, their own strengths, their own qualities, something that's unique. And having a Sangha of mutual appreciation is where we can appreciate the differences among people and realize that a group of people can be ever so much more powerful than, if you would imagine, multiple copies of the same person, or a group of people who have diverse histories and personalities. The group which is diverse is the group that's more strong, more capable, more there's like more possibility for discovering some kind of truth. But then at the same time that we have diversity, then there's also unification. So just the same way, when I was a beginner in the Dhamma, my way of understanding the Dhamma was very personal to me. It was kind of, I just had my own private way of understanding it that wasn't really that similar to everybody else. But then as time went on and I began to mature and develop and synthesize and understand more, read and reflect more, then my particular experiences began to synchronize with the teachings that were handed down. So then there's some kind of like a chemical reaction, like maybe in cooking, when the food cooks and blends and changes to become the finished loaf of bread or the finished food. So then, as there's that encounter of what's personal and what's the universal Dhamma, the things that are always true, those things come together. And so then, as a group, we have unity because we are all interested in this universal truth. And so we all, because of our faith in the Triple Gem, we all also like referring to one set of like a systematic way of trying to approach and understand those things which are truths. The truth doesn't live in one school of thought. The truth lives in nature. So then, because of our interest, our focus, our dedication to the truth, that's where our unity comes about. And then with that unity also is part of that, like the magic, the chemical reaction that can happen among a group of friends who are in a Sangha together. This may be enough for this morning, and I'd like to welcome all of you to direct your awareness to the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha.
Ayya, may I say something?
Oh, Corinna, yes, I'm sorry, I didn't see your hand up. Please go
Oh.
ahead.
Yes. I wanted to say a few words about can you hear me okay? Computer's
Yes.
kind of far away. A few words about the relationship between lay supporters and monastics. I love that. I love what you just described. I recently learned a new word or a new phrase about cooking that way. How you make a soup and you can put all the things in it, but it has to cook for a while for the flavors to kind of integrate together before it really tastes good. And the word is like to marry the flavors. So it kind of reminds me of that unity. And what I wanted to say was that if I think about the relationship between monastics and lay supporters, I think of there's many aspects of it, but what really comes to mind the most is the idea of refuge, and really what's reminding me what's most important when I think about monastics. It's kind of like your house is on fire, and you've got 1 minute to grab something. So you're going to grab the most valuable thing, or you're going to grab something that will help you continue your life, rebuild your life after the fire. And if my house is on fire, what I would grab would be a monastic, as if I had, a living monastic in my house. But the reason I say that is because for me, monastics represent teachers and guides in the right direction. And that's what would help rebuild my life. So the way monastics have a depth of practice that you share with us. Because the world is really, the world mainly tells you to be happy, you need more things. And the monastics are the living Dhamma, and the Dhamma tells you, you need less things, actually. You need to turn inward, not to turn outward. Cultivate wisdom, cultivate right understanding. But in order to have something valuable, in order to have monastics, we have to support them. We have to help them grow, and cultivate a deep wisdom. And in some ways, we're very, very lucky right now because it's a resurgence of not just monastics, but the female form of the monastics. And so it's not just a matter of putting a roof over their head, but it's giving our teachers a time for deep practice, so that they can in turn come back and teach us. Yeah, and so in order to grow our garden that way, we have to support them in the ways that we can. So if that means financial support, if we have a little, we give a little. If we have a lot, we give a lot. If we have time, we give them our time. We give them our knowledge, whatever skills we have, because you can't expect something to grow if it doesn't have support. And I want to be able to have that refuge, to have something valuable that I turn to. I remember when the COVID pandemic hit, I was like, oh, where can I go to for guidance? And it was, what are the monastics going to say? So just wanted to encourage everyone to support monastics, in whatever way you can, with your time, with your attention, with your financial support. Yeah. Thank you.
So you're
Now
saying what we ask ourselves, what would Ayya do?
Yeah.
Okay, now let's give respect to the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. Araham Samma Sambuddho Bhagava Buddhang Bhagavantang Abhivademi Savakato Bhagavata Dhammo Dhamman Namasami Supatipanno Bhagavato Savaka Sangho Sangham Namami. Thank you, everyone, for your practice and for your patient listening today. If you come back at 1 o'clock, we'll see you then.
Thank you, Ayya.
Sadhu, sadhu.